Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Suburban Rifleman. Earlier this week, I produced a video where I showed off my Brazilian police contract Beretta APX. This is the full-sized first-generation APX from Beretta. Essentially, it's mechanically more or less identical to the APX A1 that's currently on the market from Beretta. There are a few differences. The coating or the plating on the slide's a little bit different. The internal chassis is also stainless steel, just like the current APX A1. This one has some sort of black nitride coating on it. There's a couple of little differences. There's also a fair number of ergonomic differences between this pistol and the current APX A1. The current APX A1 has done away with these, what I'm calling slide buttresses, these very large structures on the slide for gripping. They've gone to more traditional slide serrations. A little bit of difference in the ergonomics on the frame. They changed the shape of the grip a little bit, but mechanically it's basically the same. The big difference between this and the newer APX A1 is the way that it's sprung, and I think also the weight of the slide. I think they've reduced the mass a bit on the newer pistol to make the new APX A1 run more reliably on commercial 9mm ammo. This thing has very heavy springs in it, and it has a very heavy, it's really a 40 caliber slide. This pistol was very carefully engineered to subsist on a pure diet of Winchester 124 grain 9mm NATO ammo at 1200 feet per second, and I have some of that here. That's really hotter. It's about the same level and even a little bit hotter than commercial plus P ammo. So I have a selection of ammo here. This might be a little ambitious. I have 400 rounds that I brought out with me today. We're going to start off with Remington, green and white box, 115 grain. This is really standard range ammo. It's coming out at about 1100 feet per second. Then we'll step up. I've got this Gecko. This is IPSC ammo. It's made in Hungary. It's a sub-brand of Germany's Dynamit Nobel company. This stuff is made in Hungary, but some of it's made in Germany. Some of it's made in Sweden. There's some Gecko ammo made in the U.S. This stuff is also 124 grain. And as I said, it's IPSC ammo. It's loaded to more or less plus P velocities, 1184 feet per second. And then lastly, I've got some Winchester proper 9mm NATO. This is 124 grain NATO ammo, 1200 feet per second. This is 2025 production, brand new. And we're going to shoot that. And then, if we have time, and if it even works, I'm going back to my gold standard of garbage ammo. Yeah! Get some! My gold standard of garbage ammo. This is Pakistan Ordnance Factory, 1974, plus or minus a couple years production, submachine gun ammo. This stuff isn't super hot, but it's pretty hot. It has very hard primers, so we'll see if this thing can even set them off. If any pistol I've ever brought out here with this ammo can make this stuff go bang, I think it's this pistol. So let's start off. I've got a 50-round box of Remington 115 grain range ammo loaded up. Let's see if this works. Okay, I'm shooting high. Wow. I can't even hit anything with this. Wow. Not doing so good so far. doing?
You shoot low, I think.
That's weird. Okay. Yeah, it shoots really low.
Low.
What the hell? What do I have to shoot from the moon? Hit anything with that? I'm putting my front sight on the stem that's coming off the top of the... Well, anyway, it ran reliably with 115 grain ammo. Trigger does feel like it's getting a little bit better. So I've got another 50 rounds of this 115 grain Remington range ammo loaded up. Let's see how we do. I think I've got it figured out where I'm supposed to be shooting, so we'll see.
Way low.
Aiming at the top. I'm aiming at the frame.
It's going underneath. I can see it from here.
I'm aiming at the top of the frame.
They're not supposed to do that.
Well, we're definitely not supposed to. So I just loaded up one mag so far with this Pakistan Ordnance Factory 2Z ammo. Just as a point of reference, the only striker-fired pistol I've tried to put these rounds through is my Gen 2 Glock 17, which up until this point is probably the most reliable pistol I've ever owned. And my Gen 2 Glock 17 couldn't set off one single round of this. So that's why I only loaded one mag. I don't have very high hopes, but let's see. How about that?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I have never seen any pistol, and I've probably tried this stuff in maybe 10 different pistols or so. I've never seen any pistol run a straight mag of this stuff. I wasn't really hitting much with it, but let's try this again. It smells like a fireworks display out here. This Pakistani ammo has some really funky smelling propellant. Ooh, my barrel's pretty hot. But again, the Beretta APX Gen 1 survived a 10,000 round no cleaning torture test at the hands of the Brazilian government. So let's see if she keeps running this Pakistani ammo. I know 115 round mag isn't a scientific test per se, but I didn't have a single misfire. And this ammo has really hard primers. It's meant for submachine guns that are firing from the open bolt. So the striker in this Beretta APX is a monster. And this thing is gobbling up this ammo with no problems whatsoever. Now this box, that last box was all 1974 production. This is a bit more of a mixed bag. Some of the primers are nickel, some of the primers are brass. So 17 times 4, that's 34 plus 34 is 68. And another 68 rounds. If I run out of plates, I'm just going to start mag dumping this thing into the dirt. Oh!
First one.
Just have to run it fast.
Yeah. You have to make it think it's a machine gun.
Yeah.
Well, look at it this way. It's done better than any other pistol.
By a wide margin.
Yes.
That's 6. Seven. I believe the story's about the 10,000 round Brazilian torture test. How many live rounds did you find, Dad?
I have 6.
So this will be the last 15 rounds of the Pakistani 2Z for today. Then we'll transition to good quality ammo. Yep. All right, so we're 200 rounds in. That's pretty extensive already. But we're going to shoot more. We have another 200 rounds to go yet, hopefully. I have 10 rounds here of this Norma defensive ammo, which turned out to be kind of a bunch of hogwash. This is Norma monolithic hollow point. The interesting thing about this is these bullets are only 108 grains. But they're advertised at 1,312 feet per second. So they're lightweight bullets, but they're very, very fast. So I don't know if that pushes this into the sort of plus P category or not, but I had 10 rounds in my range bag. There we go. Certainly quite authoritative.
Yeah, you were hitting everything with it.
And despite the light bullets, the pistol functioned reliably. Let me reset some plates. So we've got 50 rounds of this Gecko, 124 grain full metal jacket. Essentially loaded to plus P velocities. These are 1,185 feet per second. If I had a chronograph, I could actually confirm these numbers, but somebody seemed to indicate they were going to buy me a chronograph. I haven't done so yet. Yeah, she heard me talking about her. She's looking. Oh, now she's waving. Hi, Mom. Pistol's smoking.
Yeah, you're hitting stuff now. You hold it way high.
Way high. Yeah, if I had to say that this pistol had a failing, it's where it's sighted. All right. Last mag out of this box. All right, so we're 250 rounds in. My trigger finger is starting to feel it. It's been a while since I've shot this much in one session. All right, 3 more mags of the Gecko. Oh, did you want to shoot this thing at all, Dad?
Yeah, I'll shoot it.
She's hot. The trigger's getting a little bit better.
Okay.
As Berettas are wont to do. You got to aim very high.
Maybe I'm aiming too high.
You're pinging off of something. Let me
Wait
watch.
a second. I'm just going to shoot at the dirt and see where. That was right on. Oh, that was way low and left.
There you go. Now you got it. There you go. Sweet spot. That's it.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that shoots nice. It's comfortable. It's comfortable to shoot.
What on earth is going on? Can I stand shooting another 100 rounds?
I could shoot another mag for you.
Well, I said I was going to shoot 400 rounds. I'm 310 rounds in now. I can't quit now, right?
No.
All right, so we're going to move on to Winchester 9mm NATO. So somehow my camera shut off. We missed the magazine. We're on to 124 grain NATO. All right, so we are down to our last box of ammo plus 1 magazine. She's looking filthy, but she has not skipped a beat. 1 more box.
I don't think you would have been able to complete this afternoon without that loader.
Yeah, I gotta buy one of these things. I don't know why. I spend so much money on so many stupid things. And when I see one of these and it's $32 or whatever for a injection molded piece of plastic, I choke on that. But yeah, there's no way. My fingers would be bleeding if I had tried to do this 400 round test in an afternoon without this up Lula. There's just no way.
You want me to do another one?
Last 3 magazines of 124 grain NATO Winchester. Sure, if you'd like to. I'm not going to say no. Aim high. There you go. Even my fingers are blackened. Here we go, last two mags. There you have it, folks. 400 rounds. And we had not one single non-ammunition induced malfunction. It ate everything we fed it, and I brought some weird stuff out here. 108 grain, 1,300 feet per second stuff. Pakistani 2Z submachine gun ammo. Not all of that went off, but I mean, some of those were from the 1960s, and they all have very, very hard primers. All of the commercial ammo and the Winchester NATO ammo that we shot through this, the pistol never skipped a beat. The trigger is definitely improving. It never was bad, but it was heavy. It's definitely getting a little bit lighter. But I mean, I'm having no trouble believing the stories or the report from the Brazilian torture test where they ran this thing for 10,000 rounds without cleaning or lubrication. I'm looking forward to shooting this a bunch more. I don't think I'll be getting rid of this pistol. I say that about a lot of stuff, and sometimes I end up selling it anyway, but I'm really liking this pistol, and I think it's just a freaking hammer. Wouldn't you say, Dad?
Yep.
It is filthy inside. I can't wait to get out my toothbrush and scrub it out, but very impressed. And it's certainly now certified for service. You want to have, well, it's 400 rounds. The old rule of thumb was you had to put at least 500 rounds through a pistol and 200 trouble-free rounds through the pistol before you could carry it defensively. But I think this has proved that it's capable. So this will go into the rotation. Catch you all in the next one, guys. Later. Okay, so for those of you who are still here, don't click off just yet. I have a little bit extra for you, especially. I only have 4 minutes of record time left on my phone, so this is going to be fast. But I did take the pistol apart and cleaned it, and it looks pretty darn good. I mean, it was really, really filthy. I think especially from that Pakistani machine gun ammo. We've got a little bit of wear in some spots here. That's the firing pin block safety. A little bit of wear on the cartridge ramp, or whatever you call that. And a little bit of normal wear here where the barrel hood engages the inside of the slide, a little bit of wear in the rails, just normal break-in wear. I think the pistol is nicely broken in now. The chassis looks pretty much brand new. I didn't see much wear at all. There's a little bit right here on the trigger mechanism that engages the sear. I'm not sure what Beretta calls this little gizzy here. There's a little bit of wear. This is the cross pin that engages this camming surface on the bottom of the barrel to unlock. And interestingly, so there's a little bit of wear on there from the locking and unlocking. You're not going to be able to see this, but interestingly, this pin is free to rotate inside the chassis. So it's worn all the way around. It was clearly rotating as we were shooting, which is kind of cool because that will prevent the pin from getting a flat worn on it somewhere, and maybe the locking to get a little bit wonky. So that's kind of neat, actually. But no really serious wear on anything. The barrel held up fine. It's not even, there might be a very slight hint of smileys developing there, but after 400 rounds, I would have expected a little bit more wear than that, actually. One thing that's interesting about these Brazilian contract APXs, this is actually an APX A1 recoil spring assembly. The original APX had a dual spring nested. It was also captive like this, but there were two springs nested inside one another. I've heard stories that those wore really fast. Those dual spring setups are nice because they reduce the recoil impulse. They make the pistol shoot a little bit softer. But I think this new flat wire spring, which is very Glock-like, is going to hold up a lot better. The thing I really wanted to talk about really quick, and I'm down to like a minute, is the grip frame. Of course, one of the beauties of having a modular pistol is being able to take your chassis out and swap it into different grip frames. If you want to change the color, you can even put that chassis in a compact grip frame or something. But even if you're not really interested in changing up your grip frame right now, I would still seriously consider buying a backup grip frame. Because although the steel chassis engages the steel slide, and that's a very strong setup, the chassis itself is held in by a pin. It's the takedown lever here and another little pin in the back that hold the chassis into the frame. And what that means is there's a little bridge of plastic right here and a little bridge of plastic right here and on the other side. That's all that's really holding that chassis in. And these pistols have passed really rigorous torture tests, 10,000 rounds, 30,000 rounds, and held up fine. But if 10 years down the line and 50,000 rounds later, you'd start developing a crack here or a crack here, and Beretta has discontinued the APX and maybe even the APX A1. Interestingly, this chassis will go into an APX A1 frame and vice versa. If they've discontinued these and you've got a crack here or here, you're going to be up a creek. So I've already ordered, you can put this chassis into an APX A1 frame if you want. APX A1 frames are available. And again, vice versa. The original APX frame is available with and without finger grooves. And it's also available in wolf gray and olive drab and flat dark earth and, of course, black. So I've already purchased, or I have it in my shopping cart, an APX grip frame with no finger grooves in flat dark earth. That'll give me a chance to change it up a little bit in the future. And of course, if this original frame starts cracking, I'll have a backup because I don't really see anything else on this pistol failing. I couldn't believe how well it performed yesterday. I'm not sure if we had 8 misfires or 9 misfires. I thought there were 9. I only found 8 unfired cartridges on the ground when I was picking up empties. But I've never had anything anywhere close to a 91 or 92% ignition rate with that Pakistani submachine gun ammo. Not with my M9, not with my CZ75, not with the Browning High Power with its 32-pound mainspring. I never have gotten better than maybe 50% ignition on that stuff before. And this thing just gobbled that ammo up and seems very little worse for wear. My Gen 2 Glock 17 wouldn't even set off one single round of that Pakistani ammo. So I think this pistol's just a beast. If you're thinking about buying one of these, I don't think you'll regret it. But I would definitely, while they're available, they're less than $50. I would definitely buy a backup grip frame, because I think in the long run, you'll be glad you have it if you're planning on shooting the pistol a lot and keeping it for a long time. So, and my phone is telling me I have like 15 seconds left. So later, guys.